Okay, welcome all to the third foundational infrastructure working group meeting. There's a lot of people now, so that's nice. Shall we maybe start with new faces, like do a short introduction round so everybody knows who's who? Okay, I will start. I'm Ruben Koster. I work for VMware. I've been active in the Cloud Foundry ecosystem for, I don't know, 8 years or something. Recently joined VMware. Before that, I worked with Stark and Wayne. And I'm currently the tech lead for this working group, together with Behan. Behan, you want to go next?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Behan from SAP. I'm also involved in the CF community for the last 6-7 years, mainly in Bosch. Yeah. Maybe Joseph can continue.
Hi, yeah, Joseph Palermo, working for VMware. Been doing CF stuff since about mid-2010s, I think. Currently working on Bosch and Bosch-related things. Gareth, how about you next?
All right, so I'm Gareth, also VMware, been in Cloud Foundry since 2015, something like that. I have worked on Garden data services, backup restore, various other bits and pieces. What I'm working on at the moment is a motley collection of things that are not getting much in the way of new features. So the main thing that I'm interested in now is automation of dependency updates and that kind of thing. You know, I'm interested in long-term support of things. I should tag someone, shouldn't I? Christopher.
Yes. Hey everyone, I'm Chris Clark. I work for the Cloud Foundry Foundation. Yeah, I've been doing that for a good 5 years now. It's been a pretty good run. So yeah, if you need anything, technical tool related or anything like that, or have any questions at the foundation, you can reach out to me.
Other Christopher?
Hi, I'm Chris. I work at VMware. I'm on the docs team, so been dealing with CF related things since 2017 for docs. Yeah, just working on anything that has to do with VMware docs. I mean, old Pivotal docs. So, touched everything before Bosch and whatnot. Yeah. Richard.
More or less what Chris said, except I only go back to 2019. And yeah, I touched the docs, BBR docs and Bosch docs a tiny bit, but not so much these days. And I'll throw to Samir, who I bet is going to say much the same thing.
Yes, same as Richard, except I've been working on the docs for 4 years. Yeah, who should go next?
Ram hasn't gone.
Ram is the last.
Ram.
Hi, my name is Ram. I work with Chris at the Cloud Foundry Foundation. I'm officially a developer advocate there, but recently I've had the chance on working with everything from marketing to any support that the community needs. So it's been fun and very happy to see and meet a lot of the other folks who are here, and mildly intrigued about a lot of docs related folks on the call today. Very happy, but just a little intrigued.
Okay, with that out of the way, Garrett, do you have enough context on the proposals from Diego? Okay. Let's dive
Yes, I
in.
think
The first one to the first one. I mean, international
one's
date format, that's pretty easy. I assume that's for this date format, or is there something else he's referring to?
I'm assuming that's for that as well. Yeah, he does
Yeah.
say for this doc and other documents.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's.
Okay. Okay. Do we want a year in front?
I mean, the nice thing about putting a year in front is it disambiguates the month and the day because you know that it's in big endian.
Okay. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I'm in favor. Okay. We'll do that later. Okay. Yeah. So I think this is why there are a lot of docs people on the call. Yeah.
So when Diego and I were looking at which repos we wanted to ask you all for access to so that we could carry on doing things, we realized that some of the repos that we were going to ask you for, we don't consider them to be ours so much as Samir and Richard's. And sorry, Chris, I've never handed you a PR before, which is why I said Samir and Richard. But yes, our docs friends. And when we looked, we saw that it's not just the repos that we're used to PRing docs changes into. There's a bunch of repos that are associated with docs there. So maybe we want to be deliberate about it. Maybe we want to have our tech writers own that stuff and we can PR in.
That makes sense, but I think that's more of a broader discussion because at that point, like then you probably want maybe even a docs working group or something, right?
I don't know. What do the tech writers want?
I don't know.
If you'd like us to look over PRs and such, you should continue giving us access to these repos, even if you move them around a bit. I think that's about as demanding as we're going to be. In terms of the docs working group, it's unlikely that I don't think that various powers that be would want us spending that much time on this stuff. It is not on our radar much as it is anyway. So that, I mean, there's a politics discussion, I guess, about if there were an actual docs working group, like how much time we'd be devoting to these two open source Cloud Foundry things nowadays, because a lot's happened since we were assigned to this sort of thing. Can you do Samia or Christopher wish to speak to that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we really need a docs working group because we don't actually do any work on these docs anymore. We only merge and edit PRs, and we're quite happy just how things are now without having an extra meeting to have to attend.
Makes sense. So the proposal is to have a separate area within this working group with a separate set of reviewers.
Yes.
And then we would just like assign reviewers from that pool to the PRs in that area.
Yeah. Docs repos get reviewed by Chris, Samir, and Richard.
Yeah, I mean, it's not up to us. As in, I'm okay with that, but we have to create a PR against the foundational infrastructure working group document in the community repo, and then the TOC needs to decide. They have like a final say on that, and I think there's a similar PR for the backup and restore related repos, right?
Yeah.
So. Who wants to do that work? I think it makes sense to do that from the docs people, maybe, because they have an the ask is from them, I guess, or is it from the, so there's this repo, I will just show. And there's currently a pull request, really similar. To move Zoom out of the way.
So just to clarify, do you mean that you were thinking that we would do this PR? Because this is like Diego's
oh, it's Diego's proposal. Yeah, that's
proposal.
true.
Yeah.
So
I'm very
this is
happy to volunteer Diego to do the PR.
Okay, that's also.
I'm also happy for Gav to volunteer Diego to as
Okay.
hopefully clarify this really isn't our baby anymore. We're happy for business to continue as usual. And if you'd like us to continue work on PRs, just make sure that we have the relevant permissions. Yeah.
Will like the URL of the repo change or anything?
No.
Okay.
No,
Everything will just stay the same.
Yeah, all we're doing is we're writing down officially that you lot have the ability to review and merge PRs.
Yes.
Okay, great. That's fine.
And, and what we do with that, this list is used to auto assign, or it's currently manual, but the plan is to eventually auto assign people from that pool to PRs that are incoming, right? Because we want to optimize we want all the PRs to be quickly reviewed and merged. That's the whole purpose of this working group, to facilitate the contribution workflow. So yeah, so that's the ask. The ask is that you will contribute some time to review PRs that are incoming, and you will get your name assigned to them.
We actually on our services docs team have we have an aim to sort of merge and edit PRs within 3 days.
Mhm.
And we are currently working with like one person on the team who's actually working on services stuff each week because we've got other projects. So, I mean, if you were to sort of auto assign it, it could possibly be a different person working on the PR than the auto assigned person.
So the
right?
problem here is that officially these roles are assigned to a person, and they are independent of a company and a team. So if you would move a company, you would or go to work for a different company, you would still be an approver in that specific area. That's how they set up this whole foundation thing. So we still don't know yet really how that works with or translate. So what we have in the Bosch team, for example, is that like only a set of people within the not all the people in the team actually have approver rights. I mean, we don't enforce those things yet, but that's what all the docs are written in, that it will eventually be enforced.
Okay. So like if we got auto assigned to a PR, what happens? Is it just like you get an email?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. You just
you
get
can
like
reassign
an
it.
something.
Yeah, you could reassign it to someone else, but that person needs to be an approver.
Okay.
I think also an approver could reassign it to themselves.
Yes.
If you if only approvers can merge and edit PRs, you'd also have to add Jane Day, because she might do PR.
Yeah, and that's why I thought maybe it makes sense to make this PR from your team, right? Because you know the people and their handles. I mean, this is all it is, right? It's just like it's changing this document. This is for disaster recovery. It's just a list, and then moving some PRs or some repos around. But I think in this case, it will only be two repos, right? So there's a new heading, and then the repos that fall under this area, and then there's a list of people That's like all there is. And then we haven't done any of the GitHub automation, but that will be, or that's still being worked on. So these things are not enforced, but it is the official place to do these things.
I think I'm hearing no objections from the group. So I think I'm hearing that if either I or Diego works with either Samia and or Richard, because we're in the same time zone, we can put together one of these PRs or not, and then we're good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That sounds fine to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can go over the board, but so if there's going to be a separate area, that probably also means that there will be a separate board. So we currently have GitHub project boards where we review those things or the things that come in, like new PRs. But our working group also there's other projects in here as well, like a UAA and those types of things, and we don't cover those yet. But for the docs team, we would also need to have a process to start assigning those issues. I have no answer there yet.
Sorry, I was just wondering. So does our process do we need to have a process in GitHub for like this? Is that what you just said? I'm confused.
Yes. So what we have? So for visibility, like one of the objectives is to have like visibility for the community, like transparency, and that's why we have like the separate projects. But this is all like still a bit experimental. But the aim, so this one is a project we are actually updating. So we have things coming in the inbox, and that's and then we assign reviewers from that pool of reviewers, and then they go through this board, and eventually the PR gets merged and it's removed. It's gone from the board again.
Right. The outcome that you want is that the PRs to those repos get dealt with. Is that right?
Yes. We want things to be reviewed and merged, ideally, or have at least ask for changes, right? But we want things to go through quickly.
Just a clarification. So are we only specifically talking about like the Bosch and the BBR repos? Are we talking everything inside Cloud Foundry?
No, we are talking about everything in this. So there's different working groups. And so this call that you're currently attending is about the foundational infrastructure working group. And the foundational infrastructure working group has a bunch of people with roles, and then there's different areas with technical assets. So VM deployment and lifecycle is one area, which actually is Bosch. And then there's all these repos. There's UAA under here as well, CredHub, and integrated databases, and then system logging and metrics. So that all falls within this group.
So we can see a docs CredHub repo there in the middle top.
Yes, so that one would probably be, should be moved then to that separate area for the docs people, but that's docs within this working group, right? So there's other working groups as well, and they have docs as well. So you would have to attend those meetings for those groups, and then have PRs to get that figured out as well.
Right. So is there a list of which repos belong to which group?
Yes, that's all in this repo. So working groups, and then there's here the different groups, and some of the groups are still under PR, right? So they are still being reviewed and worked on. Working group, or maybe everything got merged now. So yeah, so there's app runtime platform and runtime interfaces. And there's probably docs in here. Yes.
And is there going to be some sort of standardization between these groups if there's a change made? Like if we agree on something in this group, will that be shared with the other groups so that they know?
So that's
what's
where the
going on?
TOC, that's where the TOC comes in, right? So the TOC is a technical oversight committee, and they meet every week, and they decide on things that concern multiple groups. So if you want to have like a standardized way of doing docs, or maybe create a separate working group for docs, right? Then you would talk to the TOC.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, David Stevenson and Eric Malm are for example, on that working group from VMware.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Ruben, if I may just interject, could you open the pull request tab that you have open on there? And if you scroll right down to the bottom, there's number 150, the second from last, the one before last.
yeah, the
So
community
one of the
experience one.
if you go to like the file, so just to give folks a little bit of background, there is a working group that is in discussion, so to say. This is one of the working groups that hasn't been fully formed yet. So just by way of background, Cloud Foundry moved from having a PMC based governance structure to a TOC driven governance structure, more in line with some of the CNCF and other projects have been doing. So after having moved, elected the TOC, the team has been busy in creating working groups for different areas. So the TOC regularly meets every single Tuesday, and the meeting is available on the Cloud Foundry community calendar. So if there are folks who are on this call who would like to join that as well, you're more than welcome to. It's an open call. Folks can come in and air any issues they have, or contribute any ideas they have, or what have you. So it's fairly open. So past meeting recordings are available on YouTube. If that's a little tedious, there's also like a link to the notes in the hashtag TOC channel on Slack. So you can definitely get access to that. But generally speaking, there is a working group that the TOC has in mind that will focus on community assets and public facing assets, particularly documentation. And as you can see from the state of this particular PR, there hasn't been much progress on that front. So this is, who we expect that will sort of be responsible for a lot of the documentation work, but we don't have what can I say? We don't have closure on this. We don't even have like a beginning on this. So if folks here have an opinion or would like to participate in that, you're more than welcome to do so.
Right. And I see that there are two. Is it two? Is it a 2-hour meeting, and that's why there are two back to back, or?
No. So that's a time zone problem, I guess. There's one meeting every Tuesday.
Could you confirm what time that meeting is? Because I see two on the calendar.
Yep, doing that just now.
Thank you.
So on the community calendar, there's a 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. meeting for the Eastern time zone.
Okay, that's the one I would want. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe it makes sense to have a PR against this foundation, against the foundational infrastructure working group, but maybe it's also better to first join the TOC meeting, have the broader discussion there, and then we can move maybe some things over to a separate working group, which I think is more in line with what you actually want, because then it's global, right? It's globally scoped, and all the working groups will adhere to that.
Cool. I suggest that Chris, Samir, Richard, Diego, and I chat on Slack about which way we want to go, and then we can pick something.
Sounds good to me.
Yep. Okay. Then we will just continue with going over at least the Bosch specific stuff. Are there any Leon, are there any pull requests you think that need special attention? I think we have merged quite a few things. We have the stem cell stuff still open. These are all fresh.
I reviewed today the VRRP, the OpenStack CPI one.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Yeah. What about the one regarding the CPI walks? Has been that merged already? Or
CPI what?
The walks, the CPI walks.
Yeah, that one. I think I merged that one today.
Yeah, because we that one had 2 reviews, 2 approvals, and was ready to be merged.
Yeah, it was ready to be merged. Yeah. So yeah, don't think there's much here to discuss. I did some work on the new GitHub projects. Got some automation to sync all the open issues to here. But it's still missing some functionality. So I will just keep experimenting with this because it's in beta currently. The plan for us to move to this is, why this would be useful is that there's a hope that we would be able to have all projects in one or all areas in one view, and then just use fields to filter things, so we can have different views, customized views, but look at the same list of things. But yeah, and there's workflows here, so things automatically move to a different column. So for example, this is now, I think someone changed, but it doesn't have the nice preview. So so this one, I think just got approved or something, and then like it jumps to a different column automatically. So yeah, that is quite nice. We don't have to do it manually.
So I have another meeting. I get the same sign.
Yeah.
No longer needed. So I'm going to drop off.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks for joining.
Oh, yep. I've got to go as well.
Yeah. Bye.
I'm also in that meeting, so take care, everyone.
Bye, docs people.
Bye.
Any other business? I think we're almost done.
Just wanted to say apologies because I thought this meeting would happen at 4 p.m. UK time, but I see that you got a chance to discuss about the topics I've added here, mainly about the docs.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Cool. I'll catch up with those folks later on. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for making those proposals. Okay. If there's nothing else, I think we can. I'll get some time back for day.
Thank you, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.